This is a collection of tornado films intended to introduce severe storm spotters to the visual characteristics and vagaries of tornadoes. The film clips add the element of motion, which has not been readily available in previous tornado spotting training materials. This short segment shows the violent and rapidly changing nature of a multiple vortex tornado. Note the intense rotation of the parent wall cloud, which is filling the frame above the tornado. The photographer was within a mile of the tornado, looking southwest as it approached. This is not the recommended way to view tornadoes. If you, as a storm spotter, find yourself in this position and cannot make a quick exit to the east or southeast, then evacuate the car and take shelter in a reinforced building, or as a last resort, a ditch or low-lying area. Later in time, after clip number 1, this was a second tornado from the same parent storm, evolving into the rope stage near the end of its life cycle. The photographer was again within a mile of the twister, looking southeast. Note the violent rotation and whipping action of the vortex as it tosses debris about. The debris probably consisted of sheet metal and wood, as several barns and homes were struck in this area. From a distance of 5 or 6 miles, we are looking northwest. Note the small clear slot of the rear flank downdraft, or RFD, wrapping around the tornado. The intermittent growth and discoloration of the debris cloud is probably due to the tornado moving across freshly plowed fields and then exiting them to cross grassy terrain. Near the end of the sequence, a wide-angle view enables us to see that the tornado is indeed at the rear or southwest flank of the storm. A secondary dust whirl or weaker tornado is also briefly visible at this time, northeast or to the right of the main tornado. This is the same tornado as in clip number 3, except from within a few hundred yards. As the dust whirl of the tornado first appears to our northwest, note the strong southerly inflow winds blowing through the weeds along the road. Then, as the tornado intensifies and moves across the road, a very dramatic wind shift. The RFD moves across the photographer's position. These west winds are quite strong. Note how this gust front literally pushes the bottom of the tornado forward or eastward as it moves across the road. Most tornadoes tilt back away from the storm to the southwest as they begin to dissipate, but this one tilts forward. Apparently, the direction of tilt is often dependent on the angle from which the RFD winds strike the tornado. Note the bright, flare-like object seen hurtling towards the tornado. This was a tornado rocket probe. You can see the aircraft that launched the rocket turn away from the tornado to the left. Unfortunately, the rocket had misfired and the data was lost. This is Alfalfa, Oklahoma tornado number 1. Looking west from several miles away, note how the tornado moves quickly northward, then reverses its direction and moves south as it reaches the road. The tornado was probably being influenced by the larger scale thunderstorm mesocyclone or parent tornado circulation. The small tornado rotates around this 3 to 5 mile diameter circulation. After Alfalfa number 1 dissipated, this tornado rapidly developed in the same area from the large rotating wall cloud about which Alfalfa number 1 rotated. This tornado was much larger and produced a very large dirt cloud as it traversed a freshly plowed field. We are looking west. At the point where the film takes on a slight bluish cast, the view changes to further away, but this is still Alfalfa number 2. Looking northwest, the camera zooms out to wide angle to reveal details of surrounding storm structure. Note the clear slot of the RFD wrapping around the wall cloud. As the camera pans to the left or southwest, we can observe the rain-free base of the flanking line, situated south through east of the wall cloud and clear slot. Can you find the tornado as this sequence first begins? The same thunderstorm which produced the 2 Alfalfa tornadoes also produced this monstrous mile-wide tornado. Looking northeast from about 5 miles away, we see a huge wall cloud above the developing tornado. The tornado at this time was visible as a large debris cloud. final very short clip shows the Binger tornado, again looking northwest from a similar distance. At this time, the large tornado has more of a condensation cloud appearance. This tornado produced devastating F4 damage on the Fujita scale. At the very end of the film, another dust whirl tornado, that is a gust front tornado or gustnado, is visible immediately south of the F4 tornado. This and the next two film sequences illustrate the history of a tornado from birth to death. As this segment begins, there is a wall cloud visible looking west. Rotation is visible in the cloud fragments under the wall cloud. As the tornado develops, a funnel descends from the thunderstorm to the ground. Rotation of cloud fragments remains quite noticeable throughout this segment. The precipitation area is occasionally visible to the right or north. This is a continuation of the tornado in clip number 9. The tornado is being photographed from 5 to 8 miles away. During one close-up of the funnel, notice small ripples moving up the right side of the tornado funnel. These ripples illustrate well the strong upward motion present in the tornado funnel. The size of the funnel changes as the tornado goes through minor alterations in its structure. Toward the end of this sequence, the tornado moves behind a tree and then re-emerges. This segment was specifically included to help spotters visualize how a tornado might look with obstructions such as hills or trees in the foreground. The tornado is nearing the end of its life cycle, but it is still destructive. Here it is shrinking into the rope stage before completely dissipating. The tornado footage seen in these film clips was provided by the National Severe Storm Laboratory and the University of Mississippi Storm Chase Crews, operating in Oklahoma in 1981. Other footage in the film clips was obtained by a news crew from KAYS-TV, Hays, Kansas. We owe a debt of gratitude to these people for providing the National Weather Service the opportunity for enhancing the spotter training program.